Welcome to the show, guys. Got an exciting one here for you. I'm talking about 7 players I cannot stop drafting based on talent, opportunity, and some of them great value. I love these players. You got to have them on your roster. Now, this is pre-NFL draft. I'm only going to be adding to this list. So if you want all the players, right? If you want to learn about my sleepers, breakouts, ultimate players, grab 16-round draft solution and subscribe to this channel because we do more videos like this. We are just a few days away from the NFL draft. And once that draft happens, I'm able to lay out the 16-round draft solution and give you on a silver platter the fantasy football championship, meaning you're going to have all the optimal players draft in each round laid out for you, everything in the 16-round draft solution. Use code DRAFT to save. I've linked it below, everybody. This is the absolute game changer. And again, turn the bell here, subscribe. I'm telling you, man, nobody else is giving honest advice. They're just copying and pasting from last year based on last year's performance. They're not going to tell you who this year's top player is. Last year, they were telling you Christian Kirk ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. They were telling you Christian McCaffrey first overall. It's not going to help you win your leagues, guys, if you copy and paste. They were telling you Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel round 3. It was insane. And they're going to continue to lie to you. The mainstream, nobody, 99% of people giving advice will not help you win your leagues. They're just going to play it safe based on last year. And playing it safe is actually hurting you, okay? So let's dive into it. Make sure you guys grab 16 rounds. Talk about these 7 players that I absolutely love. And I got a bonus one at the end, so you want to stay to the end. So I'm actually giving you 8 players. Yes, 8 players here that I absolutely love, including the last one being one of my favorites. Okay, so let's dive into it right here, right now. The first player I love, absolutely love, and the guy I'm talking about is Bo Nix. Now, a couple quick stats on him I've got laid out here. He finished 7th last year, sitting as QB10 on the Sheep rankings. Now, I only use the consensus rankings as a guideline to look for the value. In the 16-round draft solution, I may tell you to draft that player a round or 2 above the ADP so that you guys get the best player, right? So Bo Nix, I don't have to pay as much as I have to do for like a Josh Allen, Jane Daniels, or a Hurts or something like that. Now, I may not get the production of a Josh Allen, but I'm still going to get a guy who finished top 10 last year and can only improve based on last year. 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I believe wholeheartedly that he's going to improve that ratio, get more touchdowns, get less interceptions. That's important. Just under 4,000 yards with 3,775. And 5th in rushing attempts. This is really interesting, right? He had 92 rushing attempts and only 4 touchdowns. The thing that really separates him from like a Josh Allen or Hurts is the amount of rushing touchdowns he gets. Now, he only had 4. They're going to bring in or going to draft a rookie running back for sure, a top end guy, top prospect coming out. I'm certain of it. That's going to get a little bit more goal line work. But also, I just think that Bo Nix is going to take a step up this year. I think he's special talent. We're going to see now. I love Jane Daniels as well, but I just don't want to pay as much for him earlier on. I got to see what happens in the offseason. I still like Jane Daniels a lot, but I have to see. And some of these 2 guys are susceptible to a sophomore slump. So always make sure you have a backup plan for a backup plan. Always 2 quarterbacks to 1 quarterback league. Yeah, and 3 quarterbacks to 2 quarterback leagues. Backup for a backup covering bye weeks, potential downfalls, injuries, stuff like that, or lack of performance, okay? So Bo Nix is the first guy I absolutely love based on value, and I think he's just going to have a great year, all right? Second guy here I love, and this is pre-NFL draft, is Ashton Genty. Now, the reason I love him, it's currently sitting as RB13. This should go up as soon as we find out where his landing spot is. I did a video before this talking about where the top 5 running backs are potentially going to land. Go back and watch that. So I tell you where I think Genty's going to land. So again, depending on where he does, all hypothetical right now, he has to be the workhorse running back. I don't see any other reason they bring in somebody else or put this guy in a committee. RB13, his college stats are absolutely amazing. Now 374 attempts last year in college. He's demanding workhorse volume in the NFL. 2,600 yards, 70 yards per carry, 29 touchdowns, amazing numbers. The top rookie prospect out of this draft without even a question. Recently, he was just quoted and they said to him, like, I think he just came out and said, he's like, if you want, it's a tackle league. And if you want a running back that doesn't get tackled, I'm your guy. So he is just hungry. He's ready to go. I'm excited to watch his first snap or his entire career in the NFL for that matter. There's so much promise and upside with this running back. And I just love when a guy that's got this ability is hyped up going into the season. It's exciting. We've seen guys, as happened in the past, guys like Zeke Elliott, when he came in 2015 or 16 or whatever it was, he was a good return on investment. He was getting it done, not so much in the receiving game, but got it done as a workhorse. I literally love Ashton Genty. He's got a ton of upside this year, and I'm super excited to see where he lands. So much promise, so much upside. I don't really care where he lands. He's got to demand the three down back volume. Love him, okay? The next guy I have here, a lot of people aren't as excited about him as last year, but I really don't care because I like the value, is Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting as wide receiver 21. Now, last year, 116 targets, which I love. 20th in targets. I want to see that go up. Only 62 receptions, so I definitely see him getting more there. Obviously, we've got the caveat that is Kyler Murray. That doesn't excite people. I get it. But when he's the only wide receiver there, they got McBride, who they paid quite a bit of money to. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is still the alpha. He was the top prospect coming out of this NFL draft. And we saw other rookies do well at the wide receiver position, from Brian Thomas Jr. to Malik Davis to Ladd McConkey. This guy was the best prospect, touted up to be the best prospect out of this NFL draft last year. So listen, 8 touchdowns, finished 30th amongst wide receivers. That has to go up. And here's the cool thing. He's wide receiver 21, so I don't have to look at him until like after the 4th round, give or take. Like probably 4th, 5th round, which is like a 2 to 3 round discount based on last year. And you're getting the wide receiver 1. And that's the bottom line. You're going to get a guy who's going to get volume. And that is crucial when it comes to fantasy football. He's just going to get the looks based on talent and caliber of player he is. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is just really attractive this year in regards to value, opportunity, and just pure talent, that if I'm seeing him sitting there after I've gone robust RB, which is what I plan to do, I mean, why not get Marvin Harrison Jr.? So those are my thoughts on him. Next guy here is Rome Odunze. Wide receiver 33, finished 49th last year. 121 freed up targets with Keenan Allen not going to be there. And listen, this guy was another top wide receiver prospect who's built rapport with Williams. Another year under his belt there. I like the opportunity, man. I like Rome Odunze's talent. I like the fact that he could really emerge as the 1. Obviously, DJ Moore is there, but DJ Moore is a good 1B. Rome could really step up. It depends on what Williams wants to do. Now, I'm not a huge believer in Williams. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. But when it comes to like someone catching the ball, I don't think they're going to be looking at wide receiver this year necessarily in the early rounds. So he's going to be the guy. I think he's going to be the 1. And 121 freed up targets going in that direction, finishing 49th last year. Man, he's got to finish as a top 25 quarterback with ease. Make sure you do get him for the right value, maybe a round above his ADP, but I wouldn't overpay too much. But when you're looking for those values and some of those sleepers in the later rounds, Rome Odunze, just based on value and talent, I have to look at him, okay? Next guy's pretty obvious here is Jahmyr Gibbs at number 5. Again, no particular order. I just like all these guys, you know, just based on talent, opportunity. For some reason, it's not pulling up there. There we go. I'm just trying to pull it up here. Jahmyr Gibbs, 250 attempts last year, number 1 in fantasy points with 362 and some change. Now, here's the thing. When running backs finish on top 1 year, it's very unlikely they're going to do it again 2 years in a row. So I'm factoring in a bit of a decline. If Montgomery is healthy the entire season, for sure, there's going to be a decline. We saw a major increase in the production of Jahmyr Gibbs near the end of the season, last 3 or 4 games when Gibbs was out. And though in those games, he absolutely crushed it. And I did some math here, 362 fantasy points. If Montgomery was out for the entire season, this guy would have easily eclipsed over 500 fantasy points and literally have broken every single running back record known to man. I mean, I'm 5.6 yards per carry, 16 touchdowns. Now imagine the touchdowns that went to Montgomery had gone to Gibbs. We're looking at a 30 touchdown type season. 1,400 yards would have been over 2,000 yards rushing. Absolutely amazing, explosive. And the reason that I dislike Montgomery so much is that every time he's on the field, the Lions are losing an opportunity for an explosive play that Jahmyr Gibbs would be able to create. So just a shame not to see Gibbs on every play, but that's just the name of the game. They're going running back by committee, unfortunately, which I completely dislike, and so do fantasy owners. But if I'm seeing him as a top 5 pick, you know, I gotta grab him. He's in there. And I'll tell you who I like most in the 16-round draft, so make sure you guys do grab it. I've linked it below. Use code DRAFT to save. And that comes out 2 weeks after the NFL draft, okay? So that's what you can pre-order now, but you get it 2 weeks after the draft once I figure out who lands where, okay? So Jahmyr Gibbs, another guy I absolutely love. Let's keep ripping through it here. I got Kyren Williams here. How many did I go through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm going to give you 8. So Kyren Williams is another guy I love, sitting as RB12, finish as 7th. Barring any type of injury, this guy is going to continue to thrive in the offense, right? And the bottom line is this, like, they brought in Blake Corum, they drafted him last year. He didn't eat into the volume. Kyron's the guy, he's going to continue to be the guy. And young, hungry, he was on the show last year. Great mindset. He is out to leave a legacy. He isn't just playing like Puka is playing and saying, hey, I'm going to retire or I'm going to play basketball at 30. This guy is out to leave a legacy. So look for him to continue to thrive. I think it's a contract year for him. So, dude, 316 attempts. That's what I love to see. A 300 attempt type running back. Awesome. Awesome stuff. RB12, a better value than some other guys. So I could probably grab this guy as my RB2, RB3 in the 3rd round. He could, if he fell to the 3rd, I'd be surprised, but amazing opportunity for him to continue to succeed and pad those amazing stats from last year. Okay. Last 2 here. The last one is, I'll give you 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. Next guy is Brian Thomas Jr. And listen, he's sitting at number 8 amongst wide receivers. The only thing that's turning me off, he finished 4th last year. That's not what's turning me off, though, is the fact that I was getting this guy in round 8 last year, and now the sheep are on him. It's very unfortunate, but that's just how fantasy works. Last year, everybody was drafting Laporta round 2 last year. We were getting him, if you got 60 rounds, we were getting him in rounds like 9, 10 the year before. So I was really turned off of Laporta last year. I still thought he would have been good, but a 2nd round pick compared to 10 the year before. Same thing with Brian Thomas Jr. That being said, I still think he's a great receiver. If I'm inclined or feel tempted to, get a wide receiver with a running back combo and stack them in round 1 and 2 and want to mix it up instead of just going running back, Brian Thomas Jr. is one I would definitely stack with. I just think the future is bright. The youth is there. And, Trevor Lawrence has got to step up, man. I don't know what to tell you. He's got to step up. I heard he's talked about in another video. He's working on his footwork. But, yeah, I just love Brian Thomas Jr. I love the talent. I love the youth. I love everything about him, the opportunity to get volume. But you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay a late 1st round, early 2nd. It's just the way it is. It's very unfortunate. So, all right, one more here. Again, this one's pretty obvious. I want to wrap it up. But again, if you want all of my sleepers, breakouts, optimal players drafted each round, everything on a silver platter, grab 60 rounds. I have linked it below. Use code DRAFT to save. I'm telling you, it'd be light years ahead of the sheep. And the last guy I'm not going to spend too much time on is Bijan Robinson. Pretty easy. My 1st overall pick for 2025. That being said, depending on where Genty lands, I'd be tempted to see where he lands. If he's on the Raiders, for example, I think he's going to get a lot of volume. I think they're going to revolve that offense around him. Man, it's going to be tough because we know Bijan's going to be consistent, but who knows what the ceiling is for a guy like Genty and depending on his landing spot and volume. So I'd be torn between Genty and Bijan for 1st overall this year. I know it's a rookie. I get it, but a rookie that good has got to eat. So Bijan's another guy. Absolutely love him. Now, between him, Gibbs, and Genty, I still have to go Bijan and Genty over Gibbs simply because there's no Montgomery there. So I'm not losing, 200 attempts potentially, right? So those are my thoughts. Bijan's the bonus one, number 8. Absolutely love, must-have draft player. Let me know what you guys think below. Drop a comment below. Smash it, tap it, slap it. Love to get your feedbacks and drop a question below and turn on the bell. All right, guys? Fantasy football is around the corner. The draft's around the corner. Turn on the bell. I'm going to keep the content going. Subscribe and drop your question below. Grab 16 rounds. I'm out, guys, and we'll talk soon.